What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Sunday, March 8th, 2026, and we are back with a live here on the Torian Ran Reloaded channel. Usually, I never go live on a Sunday unless it's a true crime Sunday, but that'll be next Sunday. But I came across this interesting video on Threads, which is another social media platform that I'm on. It's actually attached to Instagram. Some of you may be or may not be familiar with it, but I came across this video, and when I saw it, I said, I definitely have to do a live about this because my mind was blown with what I was looking at. And it's crazy because I'm going to be honest, I missed some of the nuances when I first watched this movie. But before I get into all of that, let me go ahead and acknowledge the people that are here so far in the chat. We got Raging Woody, Dimpleface, FBA Queen, Hurricane Nisi, Cosma Fury, Reparations Nation, Boilermaker, Desiree, Gnome King, DSA 1569, Emmanuel, Smiley 32, Hassoon Allah, Tina Thomas, and Loves Ya 4618. Shout out to each and every one of you and anyone else that's going to be coming in as we continue to go forward. Now, before I actually get into this, I'm going to ask y'all three questions. Say three things. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen the movie Leave the World Behind on Netflix. Put a 2 in the chat if you've heard of the movie, but you've never seen it. And then put a 3 in the chat if you don't have any idea what this movie is, you never heard of it a day in your life, you have no clue what we about to talk about. Again, put a 1 in the chat if you've seen it, put a 2 if you've heard of the movie but never seen it, but put a 3 if you don't know what this movie is. Okay, so we have a few 1s, we got some 1s, we got a 3, a 2. Emmanuel would be the one to type out 1, but in a different version. We got a few 1s in the chat, some 2s, 3s, and 3s. Okay. I kind of figured it was going to be mixed with this, but Leave the World Behind is a movie that is on Netflix. It came out, I think, in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see on the screen, you have Mahershala Ali and Julia Roberts. They are like the two main stars. I think the man who played the husband is a big actor as well. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. Now, on the surface, the movie presents itself as a end of the world type of film, like stuff is starting to shut down, something is coming, the world is starting to maybe come to an end and all things like that. But this breakdown that I came across on Threads is going to have you looking at this movie in a whole different way if you didn't catch the nuances in it, if you've never seen the movie. And then if you look at how I titled this live, I said was Leave the World Behind about the FBA experience. So when we go through this breakdown, and it's like about 7 minutes long, you're going to see some things and hear some things. It's like, if you've never seen the movie before, it's going to make you want to go watch it. And if you have seen it, it's going to make you want to go back and watch it again to catch the subtleties that's in the movie. Because when I saw it, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Again, the name of the movie is called Leave the World Behind. Exactly, Gnome King. Exactly. So what I'm going to do now is I have the video. I'm going to bring it up. Now, some of the things that I noticed, especially with Julia Roberts' character, I said something that seems off about her. Especially when Mahershala Ali's character and his daughter came into the movie. But like I said, I'm going to let the breakdown speak for itself.
And when the light goes on for them to go down the basement, the waves they're sleeping.
I'm gonna kind of bypass this part because this is kind of like the intro, so it's gonna like go back into it.
Underneath in the hold, there were.
We've got stuff like the film we've got stuff like the film Leave the World Behind, which came out in 2023, and it's showing you like how
my bad, 2023,
and almost everything leading up to Civil War has actually happened, like in our realm.
I'll stop you there. Leave the World Behind isn't what you think it is either.
Oh, you need to blow me away. Let's go.
See, even the guy right here, he thought it was something else, but the other guy who he's talking to is going to really, really break it down. And I want y'all to really pay attention to this, especially if you've seen the movie before but didn't catch it. And even if you've never seen the movie, and this is going to make you want to go and watch it.
Leave the World Behind. If you watch that film, it's all about black people. All right. There's so many Easter eggs in that film telling you that it's about black people. The name of the families, the Scotts and the Sanfords. Yeah. Well, there's a famous case in America called the Dred Scott decision. Right. It was Scott versus Sanford. Yeah. And that decision was there is no rights that a black man has no rights that a white man has any obligation to honor. Something like that. Yeah. That was a famous decision. But the name of the two families, the black family and the white family, the Scotts and the Sanfords.
Okay, so that's the first one right there. He said that he mentioned the Dred Scott decision. I think everybody in this chat, who especially if you're FBA, is familiar with the Dred Scott case and the Dred Scott decision. And he mentioned how the two families' names, how it's related to that case with the last names. Like I said, that was something I didn't pick up on when I first watched the movie. And see, it's stuff like that that's intentional, because it's almost like we'll see if the people are going to catch it, but we're going to throw all these other things around it to make it quote unquote entertaining.
There's a point where the white guy is driving in the car and he stops at a farm. It's called Tainley Farms. The judge in that case was Judge Tainley.
Oh, Dave, man.
Yeah.
Dave.
There was a boat that runs aground. Okay. So they're at the beach. Right?
The White Lion.
You'll notice when they go to the beach, right? In order to get to the beach, they have to go through this building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And outside the building, there are black people. On the beach, there's no black people. Okay. And the first thing the woman says when she's on the beach, it's almost like we're the only ones here. This is our beach. Yeah. And then the tanker runs aground right at them. Okay. Tanker runs aground. The tanker's called the White Lion. Okay. The White Lion is the name of the slave ship that brought the first slaves to America.
So he said that, and I remember that too. It was a part in the movie where that boat was coming. That part was kind of freaky too, where the boat was coming to the beach when they were on the beach. And the name of the boat was called the White Lion. But one of the first slave ships to come over here, the name of it was called the White Lion, that had enslaved Africans on it. I told y'all, I'm telling y'all, y'all better hit the like button on this live. I'm telling you, this is deep. This is deep right here. If y'all are in this chat right now and y'all have not hit that like button, please hit that like, because this we only 2.5 minutes into almost a 7-minute video.
The beach was a place called Point Comfort, which is where the first slaves landed. Yeah? When the guy was driving in the car, the radio, right? He was tuning the radio. The radio kept getting stuck on 1619.
No! Look at that. 1619. We all know that number. We all know that. We all should be familiar with that number right there. He said that was the radio station that came through, 1619.
Yeah, which was a year that the first slaves arrived, right? There's so many, as I'm saying, there's so many hints that say, black men, this is about you. Yeah. Now, I won't go through any more. There's loads of them, right? So guys saying what's the name of it? The film is called Leave the World Behind. Oh, one more thing I'll mention. The film in the house that they went to, right? So the white family were renting the house that belonged to the black family, and the black family turn up and they wouldn't need somewhere to stay. So the white family were in the bedroom, right? They're sleeping in this bedroom, and behind them is a seascape. Yeah?
Beautiful.
So it's the sea, okay?
So, TKC says Barack Obama was one of the producers. Yeah, him. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think him and Michelle both produced this movie.
The black family have to sleep in the basement, and when the light goes on for them to go down the basement.
And now this is a picture right here. This is a screenshot from the movie itself. Now this is this person right here, the black guy. That's Mahershala Ali. And the one on the left from him, across from him at the bottom of the staircase, that's the actress that played his daughter.
You can see it's a slave ship.
Oh!
The waves are up top, right? Because they're sleeping up top on the deck, right?
It does look like the bottom of a slave ship too. It does, because if you look at even look at the walls, it's all wood. It does look like the bottom of a slave ship of what. Well, of course, it wouldn't have all these amenities, but it does look like it, like the inside of the bottom of a slave ship, because that's how slave ships looked inside. They were wood. The only thing that's missing is the stacks of the decks right there that they had all the what would become slaves, like stacked and laid next and on top of each other.
On the deck, right? They have to go down underneath in the hold there where the slaves were, right? But as soon as he switches the light on upstairs and you see the steps going down, it's exactly the same as the slave ship.
I feel slightly dizzy right now. Oh my
God. Oh yeah, I mentioned the building they have to go through to get to the beach. Yeah. When the building is exactly the same as the door of no return in Ghana, where the slaves went out through this building to the beach where they were taken off.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. There's so much more. And,
no. Do you know what? Wow. Carry on. Sorry, please.
Right. So the black people in there. Now I don't know if this was done deliberately, or I don't know if Obamas knew what they were doing. I don't think they did, because they're not the people. But anyway. But the black people were symbolized in that film as the deer, right? What was a name for a young male slave? A nickname for a young male slave?
Anybody want to answer that question before he says it? And we should know this because it's a word, it's a term that floats around a lot. Does anyone want to know what the... Okay, let's see if the people in the chat are correct.
Oh, a buck, yeah.
Yeah. So the black people in that film were symbolized as the deer, and the deer would come out and they would just stand there quietly, calmly and peacefully, quietly, not getting involved in all the mayhem that was going on around the world and around them. They would just silently stay there, quietly watch.
Graceful.
Right?
Oh.
Because that's in the last days, right? That's their role. And this is what's happening in America right now, whether they know they're doing it or not, right? The system is trying to get them out in the street, rioting, whatever, so they can start the race war.
What did I just do a video on the other day? What did I do? What was the video I did on Friday? When I said Black Americans are on vacation, don't call us out there for your issues. Handle your own stuff. Deal with your crap. Don't call on us. What did he just say right there? They want to get Black Americans out in the streets to riot, to quote unquote start a race war. I just talked about this on Friday. Miss Niecy, I told y'all I can't wait to drop the link for y'all to come up and have this discussion after this is over. I'm telling you, this is gonna make y'all want to go watch the movie now. This is gonna make me want to go back and rewatch it because he's only breaking down certain parts of it. There is so much more into it than I'm sure than what he's going to talk about, but these are main points that probably stuck out to him.
Right, but black people are just saying no, staying at home. I'm just gonna sit back
and going back to it, I'm glad you said that. It made voting for the couch. What did the vast majority of us do when it came to that election? We voted for the couch. If you don't have anything tangible for us, and that goes for either party, we're not voting for you.
Watch, just like the deer.
Right? Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyway, you brought it up. You mentioned the film. I just thought I had to say it's not about what it looks like on the screen, right? Literally, the subtext is what the film's really about, because they put so many Easter eggs to tell those people who had eyes to see, this is about you guys.
Okay, so that's the video right there. I don't know if it's longer than this or if this was just it. But man, when I saw this, I said, wow. And I can tell by y'all reactions in the chat, y'all are feeling the same exact way. But you know what? Let me go ahead now and just drop the link right into the chat and y'all can come on up. Mansa Musa was so locked in, he didn't even realize that he didn't say it was good before he came in. But that's all good. I'm telling you, it's one of those things that's like, it is mind-blowing. It is. So the link is right there in the chat, y'all, for anybody who would like to come up. She loves fan. Hey, what's going on? He said, good morning, chat. I'm going to have to catch the replay. Okay, no problem. And I'm not going to turn the timer on today for this particular live. I'm not going to turn the timer on, so y'all can feel free to speak as long as you feel the need to, based on what you heard. But before let's see who someone just came in. Oh, you already know what time it is.
Heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
What's going on, Miss Niecy?
Good morning, Toya, and good morning, family in the chat. I haven't watched this movie. I do have Netflix. Mm-hmm. But as I was listening to the gentleman's breakdown, right now, chills are going through my spine. Mm-hmm. And you know what keeps popping up in my brain? Remember my prayer from your live yesterday? Mm-hmm. Tell me God ain't speaking loud and clear to his people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He is speaking loud and clear to his people. And we as a people need to continue doing what we're doing. Stand down, delineate, hold the line. Be one.
Be one. All right, shout out to Ms. Niecy for kicking everything off. Let's see who we got next. Cosmo, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, thanks for this live, because now I'm definitely going to go watch this movie for sure. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the symbolism about the bug, the structure, the basement, all of that, and the 1619 of the first documented year, it's all right there in front of us. But I love what these two on God said when he was talking about us standing down and not doing anything. The couch, all of that, all of it, it's like, it's very prophetic in a way, and I definitely want to go watch this movie now. But that's all I got to say. I gotta go get ready for something. Thanks for having me up.
No problem.
All right.
All right, shout out to Cosmo for coming up. Next up, we got Mansa Musa. What's going on? And your mic is muted.
Can you hear me?
I had to unmute your mic.
I can't hear nothing on my phone for some reason. I might have to come back up.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, drop down and then come back up. I'll drop the link in the chat again. She Loves Fantasy said, I watched it 3 times. I guess I'm gonna have to watch it 2 to 3 more times. Yeah, like I said, this was deep. This is gonna make me want to go back and watch it again. Because I remember when it first dropped on Netflix and a lot of people were hyping it up, and sometimes it's like, is it worth the hype? Are we buying into the hype? You know, sometimes that's how it is, and then it's like, okay, I'll watch it later. That's how I am with some shows. Like, I don't buy all the way into the hype of everything immediately. I wait for the dust to settle, and then I go and watch it. Unless it's something I really, really want to watch at that time, then I'll watch it. But if not, then it's like, okay, I'll let it, like, you know, just do its thing for now, and then visit it later. But yeah, I remember it was a lot of hype around this movie, and I didn't. Like I said, I'll be honest. I didn't pick up on a good chunk of what was displayed in his breakdown, but I do remember the imagery. All right, you good now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, cool. For some reason, the sound was out. I did not, like, on my phone, I couldn't hear anything for some reason. But it was going on. Peace to the chat. Yeah, I did see this movie. There was definitely some racial undertones in this movie.
Yeah, especially from Julia Roberts' character, especially from her character.
Absolutely.
And that also goes to the narrative of how the white woman can be just as racist, if not more racist, than that white man, because her husband wasn't really on that type of timing. Yeah, it was her. He was more neutral. But her, on the other hand, you could tell, like, she was always standoffish from the time that Mahershala Ali and his daughter came in. And the thing is, his daughter peeped her immediately. Like, she peeped her racial undertones immediately. She always gave her a stank look, like something is just off about her. And here's the thing, to those who never seen the movie, the house that Julia Roberts' character, her husband, and her kids were at, that was Mahershala Ali and his daughter's house. They were staying there almost like an Airbnb. That was their house. And the thing is, when she found out it was his house, she was like, this guy got money, but I thought they were all broke and everything. So like, I'm telling y'all, that's when her stuff was more in your face. Hers was more direct, but all the other stuff I did miss.
Yeah. All that other stuff, I did not catch that 16, 19. I didn't catch none of that. I'm not gonna hold you. That's some crazy work right there. But for the most part, they showed up to the house. She was surprised that it was like, listen, we just need a place to stay. A couple of days, you don't know what's going on. But for some reason, it was just her and only her. Now the man, her husband, was the only one was like, yeah, all right, listen, we appreciate you for taking the sin, blah blah blah. Every day with that woman, that what's her name? I forgot her name. The actress, what's her name?
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts, yes. That every day, her character, man, it was always something new. And yes, the daughter was on it every day with her, just every day. Like, yo, what's up? What's your problem? Something. I gotta watch it over because I did see the movie, and it was a hell of a movie. And they went to this. Without giving too much away, they did go see somebody else. They went to go see another dude somewhere. He was kind of like holed up at his house, and then the ending was kind of crazy too. But I'm not gonna get into that.
You don't spoil it for the people that that haven't watched it. That I'm sure they're gonna want to watch it after this.
Hell of a movie. I think you all need. I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch it because I didn't even peep none of that shit. But definitely watch this movie, that movie, and I think it's something else like it. But this one specifically, y'all need to watch this one. This was a good movie. This was really good. I wasn't expecting it. It's a hell of a movie. That's all I can say about it. Just watch it, man. Just go and watch the movie. Now, at the same time, though, I kind of wish we didn't get these Easter eggs, but it does explain a lot, though. Like, I would, it'd be better for people to actually watch it and see it, and then come back and be like, "Oh shit, there's Easter eggs in it." Like, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. It is what it is. But that was the whole purpose of. I'm glad you put this up because I didn't even know about this video. I didn't know you was live. I didn't know you was live.
Yeah, typically, like I said, I usually only go live on Sundays when I do the True Crime Sunday, but I said I have to talk about this today because I have other lives that I'm doing throughout the week. And I said, let me just go ahead and do it on Sunday. And at this time, I said this would be the perfect time to actually do it.
Yeah, but family, go check out this movie. This movie is that, man. It's definitely about, of course, the whole thing about it was about the Civil War and everything in America. So that's about them trying to initiate the Civil War. But it's definitely got a lot of racial undertones to this movie. And I didn't even know Obama produced this, co-produced this. That I didn't know. That's something I didn't know. I probably didn't look at the credits, but it's a hell of a movie. So that's all I got to say about him. Get up out of here.
All right, appreciate you coming up.
B1.
And yes, Ethan Hawke. That's who will play her husband. I said I knew it was a big actor, but I couldn't think of who it was. So LB74, yes, Ethan Hawke was the one who played Julia Roberts' husband in the movie. All right, Jonathan, are you ready? All right. What's going on?
What's up? Yeah, I didn't see the movie, but I knew it had showed some representation of racism. The moment when the white girl made a comment, the black girl made a comment about, especially white people, and a lot of white people in real life got so mad. And I mean, so mad. Even Ryan, whatever his name, Ryan No Lips. I forgot his last name.
I know you're talking about. You're talking about Ryan Kennel.
Yeah, Ryan Kennel. Ryan No Lips Kennel. But look like he ain't got no the one with the Tom Glass face. Yeah, him and everybody was crying about that comment, and I'm like, come on now, like, I love how it shows the insecurity and the truth about how they are in real life, and and how they like react to it, because now when they react to stuff like that, they know they've been called out. They know it's the truth. So this movie, so I know for a fact that this movie showed a lot of representations of like racism, 1619, and then the part when they were sleeping under where it looked like the woods and all, where the slaves were sleeping at, and they were sleeping on the top. Now that you showed that, I know that movie showed a lot of racial undertones. So that's how so even though if I didn't see it, I knew what it was gonna have in there. And now that I saw like what went down, it makes me want to go watch it. So hopefully, but I don't know what station. I don't know if it's on Netflix or
it's on Netflix.
Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I don't know how much it costs a month. Some of these stations they charging a month. Everything is monthly. So, dang. I have to find it on a streaming website or something. But I'm going to eventually have to see that, because everything that shows on there, it really tells you everything that you need to know about that movie and what's really going on in real life. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let my plane down there, man. Thanks for giving us even more heads up about this movie.
No problem.
B1.
Hey, cool. Excuse me. Cool call-outs. I would definitely like for you to come up here and give your expertise on this, because you are definitely good at breaking down stuff like this. Like, you are very good. I'll put the link in the chat. Do you want to come up? Because if you do, I'll put the link in the chat. Man, Smooth said jump a little. He said jump on a little website and find it. I wasn't going to say it, but She Loves Fantasy says that he mentioned the picture changing in the main master bedroom with Ethan and I don't think he mentioned that part. Like I said, he only mentioned like a few of them. Like if he had mentioned every single thing, he probably would have almost told the whole movie. But I think he just like told enough to get people intrigued to either go watch it if they never seen it, or to go back and watch it to see what they missed. All right, next up we got Saf. What's going on? And if you're speaking, you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on with y'all?
Doing good.
So this is my first time like seeing your channel and being on your channel. But I did see, your video being recommended in my feed. So, I clicked on it because I was interested in the title, and not many people have a breakdown about Leave the World Behind that, in my opinion, is satisfying because there's so many Easter eggs and not everybody really catches them. And I do have a different perspective on this movie because I come from a different school of thought. So, this is not to offend anyone. This is just, what I think based on my research. And that's that Black Americans don't come from Africa. Black Americans are from where they are. And so that means that, I see the movie a little bit different. Like, for instance, the Scots being the owners of the house, but having to sleep in the basement on the second floor, while these people who are foreign to the house are sleeping at the top. They're upstairs. They have the white status. They are pretty much the upper echelon of society, while the original owners of the land are, like Martin Luther King said, we are suffering in our own land, while these foreigners have the upper hand, the upper room, okay, and they have more resources, and they're looking at us like we don't belong in our own land. And that's what I saw in the movie. It was just so many.
Let me I didn't mean to cut you off, but let me stop you right there. Everything you just said, I would agree with. Like I wouldn't even push back with what you. Oh snap! She just fell. I don't know why, but she just fell off. I was going to say I was agreeing with what you were saying, and like Overthinker just said in the chat, he said you must not know what channel you. I was agreeing with you. Like your perspective, like was right in alignment with us. Like so, you wasn't going to get really no pushback like that. Hopefully she comes back. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring. Oh, hold on. Oh, she's back. Okay. Hold on. All right, you back.
I'm sorry about that. Click the wrong button.
Like, I don't know if you heard what I was just saying. Like, even though you fell off, but like we would have been like we're like in agreement. So you said you was coming up with a different perspective. You didn't want to offend anybody. I don't think you wouldn't have offended me. You didn't offend anybody in the chat. Like what you were saying, we are in agreement. So we're pretty much on the same wavelength right now.
All right, that's what's up. Because I see the knowledge growing, but it's still a lot behind. So it's refreshing to see that you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I completely wholeheartedly agree, especially the part at the end of the video when he was talking about the buck and how Black people like just like taking a step back and saying, listen, whatever y'all got going on, don't drag us into it. We're not about to go out there because we know a setup when we see it. We know it.
Right.
And ironically, you said you just came across this, it popped up in the recommendeds. And because on Friday, I uploaded a video literally saying the same exact thing based on a post that I saw on the same exact platform that I got this video from, in which they were saying, okay, Black people, we get it. We understand, but can you please come out here and help us? And it was like, hold on. First of all, even if we wanted to go out there and help you, that's not how you talk about it. That's not how you say it. And then, like, second of all, like I said, we are on vacation. Okay. The sign on the door on the business outside says, sorry, we're closed. We're on vacation. We'll be coming back when the dust settles and everything like that. Don't call on us for nothing. Call God. Don't call us.
Yeah, because they always needed our help. Without our involvement, they wouldn't have been able to set up the charters, to set up the colonies, which eventually became the United States of America. Without us. Yep. And another thing about the white lion, the history behind that is so confused because they took out Negroes. Like on the historical marker, they removed the word Negroes and replaced it with African. So people think that the 21 and odd people that came off of that boat were Africans, but that's not what the actual contemporaneous records say. The records reflect that those people actually came from South America with Europeans. So, just all these little Easter eggs in that movie is cracking history wide open. And if you look, you're gonna learn something that you never learned in school. That's why I love the movie.
And I like how you just put I don't know if you just realized when you said that, I said all these Easter eggs they put in this movie is cracking history wide open. I like how you did that. I like how you phrased that. I don't know if
it went over my head.
I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't like that's the thing. Sometimes you put something like out there, and you don't mean to do it, but it's like if you listen, I like how you did that.
But you know how we are. You know how we are.
Exactly.
Creative don't even mean to be.
Right.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say though. I appreciate you, uploading this because it's rare to see this perspective about that movie. And that was it's an important film that everybody needs to watch.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, but I appreciate you coming up. You too.
Yeah.
And thank you for finding the channel. I'm glad that this is what brought you here.
Subscribe now.
Oh, I love to hear that. But thank you for coming. I'm glad you did. All right.
Peace to you. Be easy.
Peace. All right. Shout out to Saf for coming up. Next up, we got friend to the channel, Cool Colas. What's going on, my brother?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. I don't know how much I can spoil when it comes to this movie, but
I would say try not to spoil too much because there are some people in the chat that have never seen it. And after I played the breakdown, they said they want to go and watch it now.
Most definitely. So as far as the parts that affect foundational Black Americans, I saw a few things, but I'll name the big things that people should pay attention to. One thing that I noticed about a lot of these conspiracy-based type of movies is they often tell the dominant society how to operate when it comes to dealing with us. So they give them a blueprint to white supremacy quite often. And this is what I saw in this movie. Now, one of the things that they were trying to really say about us was that the two types of Negroes that you should fear are those who are kind of well-to-do, who are prestigious, have a lot of money, who are wealthy. And then the other types are the pro-Blacks. Because if you remember the Ruth character, she was real pro-Black in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I can't remember Mahershala Ali's character, but he had like a lot of money and whatnot.
Yeah, he had a status.
Yeah. So I think what it was trying to tell you, it was the dominant society talking to other white people and telling them how to deal with us when there's a crisis. Because like if you look at this movie, they did a lot of things. Like they took I think they low-key took some shots at Elon and some of those conservative whites a bit.
Oh yeah, especially the part. And I don't want to. I don't want to spoil it though, because I know exactly. Listen, y'all in this chat, if y'all have not seen this movie, because that part right there, I'm just going to refer to it as that part was one of the most craziest parts in that movie. All I'm gonna say is that it involved the road and some cars. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything past that. I think that was a dig at Elon, because wasn't it around that time when a lot of people was having problems with their Teslas? Like it was a big issue. Like a lot of people's Teslas was messed up and all types of stuff. And ironically, they said, you know what? We're going to just throw this into the movie. That scene was, that part was probably one of the more scary parts of the movie, because I was like, okay, what's really going on?
Right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Because when it happened, it was about 2.5-3 years ago or so. So yeah, it was around that time period. Yeah. But yeah, the main thing that I got from this movie, like I said, when it came to like foundational Black Americans, is just telling other white people how to deal with us, and then showing who the real threats are, and then how to a certain degree, neutralize those threats. So that's the main thing I saw, without saying too much, because I could be talking about this on and on and on. So I ain't trying to do all that with your audience.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, that movie was insane. I don't know how much you came. I don't know which part you came in on, or when they was doing the breakdown. But the guy was talking about the radio station was on 1619.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know if that was too much, because I wanted to.
He talked about that. He talked about the White Lion, the boat with the White Lion, and he also talked about how the bottom of the basement of the house looked like a slave quarter. like a slave ship, like the bottom of a slave ship. Rather, we talked about the daughter Ruth, who was more pro-black. Mahershala Ali's character, who was her dad, was more of a guy with status. I mentioned about how Julia Roberts' character was like the symbolism of the white woman who is more dubbed S than her husband, because her husband was more neutral, where she was more definitely the white supremacist without the shadow of a doubt. Now her character was more direct. Like you could pick up on her nuances immediately, especially when the black characters came into play, because she was looking around like, he was telling her, well, you're staying in my house. And she kind of gave him this look like, you're a black man. How dare you have all of this and then have more than me?
Right. Yeah, and there's a couple things like the point comfort thing, like which was a slave ship that they talked about with the 1619. That was one thing I noticed. The Fort Mose thing, that was a maroon colony, where a lot of free blacks had settled. And then another thing that I kind of like got from this as well too, I noticed that some of these movies, they'll try to tackle like conspiracy and racist shit, and then on the back end they'll kind of say or do certain tropes. Like, for example, one thing I noticed is that if you look with Ruth being pro-black, and then with Mahershala Ali's character just being this wealthy dude who didn't really seem like he was too on code, I noticed that they do this thing where they love to make the black woman super pro-black, and then the black man, they'll make it where he may or may not be on code, but he's kind of docile. He's not very open with it. I noticed that they kind of did that in that movie as well too. So they were telling you things while also trying to portray what they wanted you to see, like indoctrination, So I saw a lot of that as well.
Yeah, because I was on Ruth's side the whole time.
I was too.
I peeped that woman immediately when they walked through the door, before they even walked through the door. She saw that nice car and saw that black family get out of that car. And her whole demeanor changed. Like I said, if y'all have not watched this movie, y'all gotta watch it.
Yep. I was gonna say I do have to dip out, but before I like spoil anything else, I just wanted to say that one of the other things that you do want to catch with this movie too is just think about the son, like the Julia Roberts character, her son. I can't remember his name. I think he was on some fetish sizer type shit too. So that's another thing too to remember. Yep. So.
All right, but I appreciate you coming up. When I saw you pop up in the chat, I said I definitely want you to come up and talk about this because you do great breakdowns. I don't know how you managed to find all those nuances when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, like, I said you find everything, and what I like about it is you make it interesting every single time, and it's something different. Because a lot of people will be like, "How many ways can you just pick stuff out with the WWE in particular and relate it back to white supremacy?" But you managed to find a way to do it. But that comes from being someone who's very observant. Because I'm being honest. I don't think I would have been able to do it past maybe at least 2. You managed to find out like thousands of these things that's going on.
Yeah, most definitely. See, this last thing I want to say about that. So with WWE, it's super deep rooted, and I think the problem is if you don't just do a deep dive and look at everything that happened, then it ends up turning into this kind of false hero worship type thing. Because what I come to find out is that there are a lot of like wrestlers who have done racist things in the past, and they're doing racist things in the present too. But there's a lot of like people who we grew up on and who we were, we loved as wrestlers and whatnot. We find out they do racist shit, and then you're like, okay, so do I keep worshiping this wrestler who I really liked growing up as a kid, or do I expose kind of like some of the racist stuff that they've done? So with me, as I took a deep dive into a lot of the like the old school wrestlers and even some of the newer ones, I found that there's a lot of racist shit that I was able to dig up on them. So I love exposing that stuff because it's like, I think that they mistreat a lot of black wrestlers while allowing a lot of these racist white ones to still have a career and success and all this other stuff. So it's real deep rooted, bro. But again, white supremacy is in everything.
Definitely. But I appreciate you coming up though. And if y'all haven't done so, make sure y'all subscribe to Cool Colas. You can put your link to your channel in the chat and make sure y'all go and subscribe to him. He's steadily growing over there. I'm seeing the growth. I'm peeping the growth.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, most definitely. I'll put my link in the chat too.
All right, appreciate you coming up.
All right, yeah, I appreciate you.
Shout out to Ku Kolas. And we're gonna bring up one more person. Gnome King, what's going on?
How you been, brother TR? It's good to hear from you, man. I see you still cranking out that good content like always, man. Because this one was a ringer right here, man. Like I can't believe, as observant as I am, it's so many of those things that brother dropped in that breakdown that I completely missed watching the movie because I wasn't necessarily looking at the things, involving race pertaining to us, because I focused on like the conspiracy theory rabbit holes. Like I was so busy jumping down so many of them watching the movie that I didn't really take the in-depth look I needed to look at all the little racial undertones from Julia Roberts' character. You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned the girl Ruth and how they was kind of butting heads from the jump.
Yeah.
So as soon as they got there, like her, but at the end, she still had to end up clinging on to that girl. Remember when they was in the shed?
Exactly. Yep.
When they was in the shed with the deer, like, you know what I'm saying? She was just as terrified as the girl Ruth, and like they end up clinging on to each other, until the deer went away. And it's like they try to confuse us with that part, because I know they use the animal reference, bringing in a different species, you know what I'm saying, to completely negate the fact of what the brother said in the breakdown. Those deer represent us, black people, because like pretty much all the animals, not just the deer. Remember the flamingos in the pool where the lights was off and you heard explosions and gunshots and cannon fire in the city. Then the camera panned to the house. You remember the flamingos was just in the pool, like just chilling. When it was raining outside, the flamingos was just in the pool chilling. And they really be like that, because when I was in Thailand, like I was looking at the flamingos, like they sleep standing up. It can be pouring and shit. They just chilling. You know what I'm saying? It was just watching everything that's going on. But like that was the most accurate thing that I heard that man say. Like the animals in that movie, but the deer especially, because you notice when they was clinging on to each other, when the deer surrounded them, they was expecting to be attacked. They was expecting to, get bit or get kicked or stomped or something. They was expecting the deer to do something, but no, they just looked at them and then they just walked away.
Yeah, because it also goes back to the thing of when they put out the propaganda about black people, especially black men, about us being so violent and all types of stuff like that, and how you were saying they was expecting for the deer to just straight up get violent with them when all they were trying to do was get the safety, and all they did was just stand there and just like look at them. And that goes back again to what they say about us. I said we are not a violent people like they portray us out there to be. If there's any time that we have to get violent, is usually as a defense mechanism, which everybody has. But they have to put this thing out there that somehow we are some of the most violent people out there. That's why to this day, I don't like Candace Owens, because the first thing that I ever heard come out of her mouth when she was sitting down there with Tucker Carlson, when he used to be on Fox News, was that black people are the most murderous people in America. And I'm like, where is this coming from? So yeah, going back to that, it's almost like they expect it out of us, but we're not that. So they have to propagandize things to make it seem like we are when we're really not.
Most of the time, too, movies do that. Like I can think of a comedy movie right now. I don't know if you ever remember the Harold and Kumar movies where they was chasing the White Castle burgers, but the one where they
yes, I've heard of them, but I never seen them.
Is one where they end up in Alabama, like they trying to get to Texas to stop a wedding from the evil ex-boyfriend marrying Kumar's like ex-girlfriend or whatever. But they end up in Alabama. They break up a basketball game and they see like these brothers playing ball, and they was like, let's go ask for directions. And like one of the brothers like got the rebound. And it was Lester Spate with a dude that played Terry Tate, offensive linebacker. he like grabbed the ball, got the rebound. Like, it's my ball. They made him look like a monster. So instead of asking for them directions, like they're like, man, let's get out of here, let's go. And so they just seen the car reverse and back into the fire hydrant. So like that's what got the brothers' attention. But when the brothers started walking up to him, they came with a spare tire. They came with, an air pump to try to get them tires and all that. And they just saw the guys running away. They're like, man, we just trying to help. Somebody call the police. We need to report this. And I was like, that is so black. Like, that's some shit they do to us all the time. Like, a lot of times, they just want to paint us with that aggressive and violent appearance. But a lot of times, we show up on the scene, we be trying to help calm shit down. We be trying to help resolve things.
It's inherently in our nature.
Yeah,
But don't get it twisted now. Just because we helping you out and we being nice in the moment, don't take the kindness for weakness.
Oh, most definitely. Because we saw that part, when the brother tried to. I don't want to give away too much, but remember when the other boy got sick and they went to the other dude's house to try to get the medicine.
You don't get too much away. Yeah. for those who want to watch it, don't give too much away. I only want to focus on the part that they showed in the breakdown because I just wanted to keep it in the confines of that. Like, so we're not trying to go too all the way out there because I want the people to watch it.
I can't get over like all those racial undertones and all those things, not just pertaining to current day issues we dealing with, like on jobs. Because that's why you notice since I've been following your channel, like 1 minute you'll see me doing security, the next minute you see me doing utility work, next thing you see me doing traffic control. I can't keep no fucking job because of shit like that. Like only like they do those little backhanded compliments and the little microaggressions and shit. And because when I was young, like my parents failed me on that aspect. Like this is how people gonna treat you, even if you nice, and this is how they gonna respond when you too nice. Like I wasn't prepped on that shit, so I didn't know how to respond to like hostility when I was a child. But now I be laser focused like on that shit. When I sense it from somebody on a job, I lock in on it. And you know what I'm saying? I don't try to hide it. I expose them immediately. I embarrass them. Most of the time, like I blow up on them. And what it always end up being is, oh, this dude, we don't feel safe around him.
Exactly.
Because somebody will stumble upon my YouTube channel or whatever. They'll see like, okay, this nigga trains, he fights, and he was paramilitary. Da 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 da. They'll see all that shit. Oh, we got to get him out of here. He'll hurt somebody. Da 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 da. But it's like, why couldn't y'all just be calm and content with the calm nature, the happy go lucky, all 32 smiling, grin, showing like that's how I came in the door. But y'all kept poking the bear up until y'all got the ravenous Cujo version. But y'all see that shit now, and now it's like y'all want to fucking try to backtrack. Like they always try to do that shit with black people, especially on jobs. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm just like 2026. I'm not doing shit. Like I'm at the house. Like I just flew back in from Thailand. If I knew I could have stayed a whole nother 60 days, I would have probably stayed all the way up until April. I'd have been late filing my taxes and everything, because that's really how black people we need to continue that code. Just like those deer and the flamingos in the movie. They just watched. They didn't get involved. They didn't make no suggestions. They didn't show up, you know what I'm saying, to help nobody. When people was confused, they was just there. And they kept with their groups and they kept moving. When 2 or 3 flamingos flew out the pool, the whole flock followed. When one of the deers walked away, the big buck, the biggest deer, the rest of them followed.
That also kind of reminds me of the thing. How when it comes to black people, you see one black person running, we all running. We don't know what it is. It don't even have to be a dangerous situation. Because I remember this happened when I was in college. I think I was running trying to catch something. And one person there started running. And I'm like, at first my thing was like, why are you running like with me? I'm not like running after you. They was like, nah, because when I see one of us run, I run too. So like that's the whole that's where our herd mentality comes. And it's funny to us because we but also at the same time, it's a safety thing.
It's a natural survival mechanism.
It's like it's a mental natural survival tactic that we all have. Like, because how I would just say the others, it could be a shooting that happened. They want to go investigate. Our black ass,
we out.
We running the other way. We not trying to investigate nothing.
That's right. And it's like I say, it's a natural survival mechanism instinct. And that right there, the one you're talking about in particular, when one black person run, like we see him running in that direction, we following him because there's some danger that way. Like that right there, that's why they kill us off in all the horror movies. You notice black people be first ones to die. Like that shit go all the way back to like the 80s and 90s horror movies. And before then, you know what I'm saying? They always kill off the black people first because they know, they watch us, they study us.
And they know that the black person is 9 times out of 10 the smartest one in the group.
We not about to fucking investigate. Like somebody died and whatever it is, it's dead bodies that way and it's living people this way. So we gonna run in that direction. Like the people that write the horror movie scripts, the directors, they know that. So they like, well, we got to kill them all first because what we show them or what we portray them doing in this film is the exact opposite of what they're going to do in real life. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So we got to kill them all first. Like Hollywood, they've been protecting their racism, but like, I don't know what influence Barack and Michelle like might have put down when it comes to talking to the director with their co-producing methods to hide these little gems and Easter eggs and subliminal messages so well, because they were definitely taking shots, not just at some other billionaires and tech geniuses, but other politicians, other countries. Like because I was taking in the full scope, but I'm glad you made this video and you posted that with the brother breaking down all the racial undertones and microaggressions and backhanded compliments, things like that come to us, like that pertain to just us. But the movie shows what black people been doing and need to continue doing. Continue the delineation movement, separating from ungrateful tethers that come in off of our work and our benefit, but then want to shun us to be next to them folks. Keep doing that with delineation and keep staying home, away from these protests and out the way. Because now we know, like, that's the biggest thing in gem that brother dropped. Like, now I see why they need us to come outside so bad, because they trying to kick off a civil war. They trying to escalate conflict that's going to not just be in a few states across the country. It's going to be a nationwide type thing. So black people, they depending on us to initiate a huge catastrophic type of event, but they depending on us to play a role and we not doing it. So fuck that. Continue delineation, continue staying home, away from their protests, out the way. Go barbecuing for holidays with your families, weekends and stuff. Go to the movies, go fishing. Book you a flight, take a trip, do whatever you got to do to stay out of their business. Stay out of them folks' business, man. We doing well, and we need to continue doing just that. And that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, I appreciate you coming up.
I appreciate you having me, brother. Keep cranking out that content, brother. You know, I'm gonna keep watching when I get a chance, man. Be one, be easy.
Be one. All right, shout out to Gnome King for coming up. And before we close out, I wanted to bring up a comment somebody had left. She loves fantasy, and shout out to her. She said Julia has connections with the King family because of her mom, and she's from Georgia. So let me give you a little bit of backstory on that, because a lot of people may not know this. Julia, and that is true. Julia Roberts' family does have a connection with the King family. So basically, what happened is back in 1967, which was the year that Julia Roberts was born, and ironically, the year before Dr. King was assassinated. Her parents didn't have enough money to cover the hospital bill in order for, to have to stay at the hospital when her mother gave birth to her, because those bills stack up. Well, the King family covered her parents' hospital bills at the hospital they were at. And the reason why they did that is because Julia's mother ran a integrated acting school down there in Georgia, in which Dr. King's kids attended. So to pay it forward, Dr. King and his wife Coretta covered the hospital bills for Julia Roberts' parents while she was in the hospital giving birth to her. So that's the connection. So that's a little fun fact right there, in case anybody didn't know. But I'm glad that, you know, this was a good turnout. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed this. I said, let me go ahead and just go ahead and, you know, don't do this, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect that many people to turn out, but hey, I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad people came up and spoke towards this topic. Again, if you have not seen the movie Leave the World Behind, it is on Netflix. Please check it out, and keep in mind of the nuances that was in this video that was broken down to us, and also the other things there that wasn't talked about in there, because it's a lot. It is a lot. But with that being said, y'all, we are about to get up out of here. Video coming tomorrow. I'm gonna actually upload it after I get out of here, but I'll put the premiere window up a little bit later, and y'all will see what that's going to be on, and we will go from there. I think the next live I plan on doing is on Tuesday. As a matter of fact, I'll just say it now. Y'all are getting 3 lives out of me this week. One Tuesday, one Wednesday, and another on Thursday. Y'all are getting 3 live days in a row, and it's been a long time since I've ever done something like that. So y'all are getting a video and a live on Tuesday through Thursday, because I got time, and we got some things we got to discuss. But with that being said, we are about to get up out of here. Shout out to everyone that came through. Shout out to everyone that came up and spoke. Again, go watch the movie if you haven't. It's a very good film. I might go back and rewatch it just based on this breakdown. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay safe. It's pretty decent outside, so I would say go outside and see what nature got to provide. And with that being said, be safe, and most importantly, be one.